Hey guys, welcome to Friday night. um, I'm here in the garage, tore down the motor today. Um, it's turbo time. We're working on the 1987 3.3 liter from the red Slant Nose Turbo car that we did a video on. And I've got the motor torn down. I took it down to a short block and made the decision to go ahead and split the case. I'll show you why. We'll go over it. But this engine is clearly an engine that was being over boosted at some point. So I still don't know if they changed the spring and had it boosting higher than it should. So we're going to, let's go over and I'll show you what I got. All right. So here's the case. Turns out it is a matching numbers engine to the car, as we suspected. There's the number right there. And it is a 93068 is what the internal number is. So we ended up splitting the case, and what happened was from being over boosted, it beat up the rods. As you can see here, the rod bearings are beat on the top there. Two of them are not really bad, but for the most part, all of them are pretty beat up from being too much pressure. Basically getting hit with a hammer on top of the piston with all this pressure on there. The actual bearings are actually pretty nice. So to me, the line is really very good. But of course, everything's going to ollies. Tim will go through everything. Zane and Andrew will prep everything to put it up on the jig to check the line bore. I think it's going to be pretty good, but we don't know until it's on that board. So that's the case part of it. Here's the other half. You can see the bearings on there also are pretty nice. Nothing down to copper. Okay. Now let's go to the pistons and cylinder heads. Pistons and cylinder heads. I had three pistons with broken rings, and they were just about split in half. And what happened was, when they were split in half, you can see the shiny part there on the tip of that was scraping up against the wall. It didn't leave the groove, but the two ends were scraping up there. So it's been like that for a little while. They're almost shaved it to a little bit of an angle there. So three pistons were like that. The top of the cylinders, as you can see, were passing air when it was getting boosted. So it wasn't really burning through, but more time on this engine and it would have burned through. But you can see where the air was getting through right there on that one. It was pushing through right in that section. And you can see this is a really good example of that. See right there where the air was going through. Now, the torque on the head studs was okay. Nothing was loose. So, it was just clearly over boosted is what's going on. And you can see on the head right there on the mount and the surface where it mounts, how they're all like that. They're all showing where they were leaking air through. You can see there, it was just over boosted. So what happened being over boosted like this, it broke rings and it had, very low compression is what was happening. You can see that's a really good example right there. You can see where it was just pushing through. So these will get fly cut, and then obviously they'll get completely rebuilt. These are going to go to my guy I have doing the heads now, and all these will do all the work on the case, and they will do my cam towers. Zane does the cam towers over there. He cleans those up really nice. Make sure all the oil pinholes are clean. And the problem with this motor is whoever built it used silicone on things that he shouldn't use silicone on, which is the whole motor. So anyhow, I am going to show you some stuff and you're going to be blown away by what they actually did. Okay, let's go here. I got some. I want you to see some stuff. Okay, so cylinders leaking air because they're being overpressurized. The rods are getting beat up because of the pressure power, right? It all makes sense, right? It's what it tells you. This engine will tell you what's going on. Okay, so let's be, the crank is beautiful. The crank is very nice. The turbo oil pump is great. These return tubes were in there. I think they put them in. My guess is they put them in whenever they built this motor, or whoever was in there. So we're going to get rid of those, put solids in there. But take a look at this. The intermittent shaft there was good. That'll go to Ollie's. They'll clean this out. There's a lot of buildup inside these shafts. It doesn't look like you would have, buildup in there. But I'll tell you what, Tim was telling me, he pulls that plug right there in the end there, and there's a lot of stuff in these. So I don't know what camshafts these are yet. I'll run the numbers and see exactly what they are. But look at this. Okay, so this bearing, they silicone the heck out of it when they put it together, which you shouldn't do. This O-ring needs to be loose in order for it to work, and this does nothing when you do this silicone like this. Okay, now that's that. Now the thermostat, you can see they silicone that also. Okay, let's not do that. Oh, look at this guy. Let me wash my fingers here a little bit. But this is the end of the intermittent shaft cover, and yep, it's silicone all over that too. And so this silicone will get in the cam towers, and I've talked about this before. It'll get in a cam tower and plug a hole, and then you're going to burn all your rockers wherever it gets plugged up. So there's a lot of passages in these motors that will get damaged by being plugged by silicone. So don't use silicone. Here's the intermittent bearing. It's got some wear to copper. That's got some wear to copper. Okay. All the bottoms of the rods are, they're not beat like the other side, the main rod of the bearing, but they're not great either. They've been worked over, put it that way. Of course, these all have numbers on them. They match the rods, so we know where each one goes to. And these are going to get ARP hardware when I rebuild these. And the torque on these, funny thing was the torque was actually on the loose side, and I think it's because the rod bolts got stretched. The rod bolts get stretched when they were just getting pounded by this engine. So, but we're going to go to ARP race hardware. That's a good little insurance for the rods for that. So that's what we're going to do on that. And another thing, let's talk about this here. So the turbo is the original, and it is leaking oil from the seal from the inside where it runs oil in the middle. So that is no good, and it's leaked quite a bit of oil on the floor. I actually had a towel down there to catch it. So that needs to be rebuilt. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to a K27 and upgrade it. And then we might even go with a fast speed exhaust. We're still talking about that part of it. One weird thing here, the exhaust ports on the exhaust manifold on this side only, they're all white. Look at that. They're all white, okay? And here's the other side, all black. So it's very strange. I talked to a couple guys. I talked to Marty Materian about all this stuff here going on. I talked with Eric out in Palm Springs, He's very knowledgeable on these turbos. And Richard in Burbank was telling me that he thinks that they probably changed the fuel injectors on that one side, on that bank, and either they were running really lean, or it's just odd that that's what it looks like in there. So, so what I think happened is they changed the spring in the wastegate, and it was popping off a little later than it should, which is putting too much pressure in this engine. So I think that's what happened to it, and that's why it kind of tore itself up. I mean, it's pretty bad. So the top of the piston cylinders are probably warped out. They're not. I mean, obviously they're not sealing right. I mean, you literally can put this cylinder on the head and match them up where they were flowing the air through. So, and let me tell you, they were not loose. These were probably over torqued. Honestly, they were. I torque them at 27 pounds, and these were. I had to get a long bar to break them loose before I put a ratchet on them. So they were pretty tight, and that's what it is. So 3 pistons were just doing nothing. They weren't holding any compression, and that's kind of what was going on with this. So the turbo, Marty told me about the guy Evergreen in Florida. So we're gonna contact him, talk about the turbo with him. Like I said, we'll probably go with a 27. Get that in order. The exhaust, I have Andrew at Fab Speed. He helps me out with my exhaust system from Fab Speed. And then this tray here is all the turbo stuff. You can identify it. The fuel injection, all this stuff I'm going to go through it. There's the original turbo oil tank there at the bottom, right there. And then the just everything's in there from this motor. And also the wire harness. We're going to work on the wire harness. We got to change a few things out that were, it's really worn out in areas. So you can get parts of the wire harness from I think it was Design 911, and they've got nice pieces of the harness. For instance, the CD box, the plug for the 6-plug CD box, we're getting that harnessed, and that will tie right into the original harness, because if you know these turbos, that's all one piece. It doesn't have a separate CD box wiring like the early 2.4s and 2.2s, which was a separate wire for that. So anyhow, so that's the turbo time. And so we're going to get all this stuff to Ollie's on Monday. Tim, everything's coming your way. Even the crank, I want Tim to go through the crank. We'll pull the plugs, clean it out. The silicone kind of scares me. We got to make sure there isn't any silicone fragments in this engine. We've got brand new pistons and cylinders for it. The heads will get done. We got to get another turbo. We're working on the exhaust. So that's kind of what this turned out to be. So like I said, I wasn't sure we were going to split the case, but after the way the heads looked and all the leaking and realizing that it was overpressured, we decided to split it. And it's a good thing we did, because it wasn't glued in correct. The 8 bearing was siliconed in, so that's just going to leak. And that was it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I also got some cool news. I got the t-shirts. I got a sample today of the t-shirts. I had a design from my old t-shirt, and let me show you that. So I had these done quite a long time ago. It's probably maybe 12 or so years ago. This is the shirts we're making now. These are being printed right now, and that is a 73 car that I built probably in 02, somewhere around there. It was black with green lettering, so we used it on my shirt, and I like the emblem. And so these are I'm going to put these up. I'm going to sell these. If you guys want, buy these. They're going to be, I think, probably $25 with shipping. It's a very nice shirt. I went ahead and I spent a little more money to get a quality shirt. They're very thin. They're not heavy. Out here in the heat in Havasu, you know, the lighter shirts are really nice. So that's what I went with. They're not so thick where it's uncomfortable. So that's the shirt. So I'm excited to figure out how to you know sell these or how you can pay. Actually, if you guys have any ideas to help me out with that, I would appreciate that. I do have PayPal. So anyways, usually people that want, you know, they pay for a few things, whatever, they PayPal me and they just use my phone number. So there's my phone number. So if you do PayPal, then I have your address and everything. I could send them right out to you. These should be all done for probably next week. And I'm hoping they're done for next week because we got the Porsche swap meet to do. And we're all packed up in the trailer now. We did a video on that. So that swap meet is going to be a lot of fun, guys. If you come out to it, come by and say hi. We should have the shirts done. And come Monday morning, I'll take all this over to Ollie's, give it to those guys, and they will go through it, make it all perfect. And then we can build the motor up for the Slant Nose 87 Turbo. I'm excited to do that. And we'll show a video. We'll make a video when we build and all that. I don't like doing a video of tearing them down because it takes a long time to do. And I don't sit in here for 12 hours at a time to do this, and it just takes too long. So I'd rather just show you the important parts of what's inside and what makes it tick. So there you go. All right. So if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to us. I don't even mention that in the videos very often, but we're the channel's doing really good, and I'm excited to do it. And we got some good cars. Gary's 912 is almost done, very, very close. I got door panels. I'm rebuilding the headlights for it right now. That's just about ready to go. So anyhow, hit your likes. Let us know what you think. If you're interested in a shirt, let me know. And they're really cool shirts. So I'm excited to have those out. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.